Hello, hello. Welcome back to EFT with Lucy. My name is Lucy and I am so happy that you are here. Welcome if it's your first time. Welcome back if it's not. This is the place to create more self-acceptance, transformation, healing, because I really believe that when we are able to create emotional regulation within ourselves, we're able to make the world a better place. And certainly what we need today, which is why we are tapping on handling uncertainty and unknown, the unknown slash just unknowns. Especially into today's world, everything does really feel chaotic and uncertain and also just really upsetting. And that's not really what we're here to talk about right now. But I just really want to give us a couple reminders as we go into this tapping, because I really want to remind us that the idea with life is not that we want to make things less uncertain. I think it's more that we want to build our tolerance for uncertainty, because if we were truly to get rid of every uncertain and unknown in the world, we really wouldn't be living. We'd probably be holed up in like a tiny dark room. That would be a really boring experience, right? And not fun at all. So in order to be like living fully and freely, feeling your best, feeling like you're living to your fullest expression, we really need to be able to handle uncertainty. It's kind of like stress, where it's like we want to mitigate all the stressors externally that we can, but ultimately life is just going to be life. The one thing that you can expect is that there are going to be a lot of uncertainties and twists and turns with life. And so instead of trying to like shun life away and be like, nope, no uncertainties for me, what we want to be able to turn towards is being able to trust ourselves to handle the uncertainty of life. I think that we can oftentimes, when we start to feel like the uncertainty is too much to handle, start to lean towards trying to control things. But I just want to remind you that we really can't control that much in our life. There are a lot of things that we do have agency over. However, a lot of the time, I think that we waste a lot of precious time and energy and brain power and just feeling good in trying to control things, or really like ruminating on things and worrying about things that are out of our scope of control. So I just want to remind you that really the only thing that you can control is yourself. If you're worrying about the past, you can't change that. If you're worrying about the future, we can try to influence it a little bit now, but we can't like snap our fingers and guarantee a certain outcome. And we can't control other people. Like there's so many things out of our lives that we can't control. But oftentimes when we're really worried and we feel like we really don't have the tolerance for uncertainty, that's where our brain tries to go. And so what I really want to help you, support you through, and encourage you to do is do a tapping, do whatever it takes to help regulate yourself so that you can start to remind yourself that actually the way to go that's going to be constructive and help you feel better as you move forward and to build that resilience and tolerance for uncertainty is to lean into self-trust. Unfortunately, the way that we build trust is by taking risks, right? When we start to build up trust with ourselves, I love the analogy that Brene Brown has with trust, is that trust is like a jar of marbles. When you have a lot of marbles in the jar, you can say, oh my gosh, I have a lot of trust. But all of those little marbles, all those marbles are little moments where things could have gone well or things could have gone poorly. But what you know is that you have the trust with yourself that you can handle whatever the uncertainty is. You've pulled through, whether things went the way you wanted them to or whether things didn't go the way you wanted them to, you still made it through. You persevered. If you felt like you failed, maybe you learned a lot from it and you grew from that. And if things went the way you wanted them to, you learned that you could actually pull through in a certain unknown situation, right? So we build confidence through taking risks and actually putting ourselves out there, which is the opposite of what we want to do when we're trying to control everything. So in order to build up our resilience and our tolerance for the unknown and for uncertainty is just to build up self-trust with ourselves. And I'm not saying you need to go from like 0 to 100, because sometimes we do just need a little break. I like to say a little pit stop just to like give ourselves what we need in order to keep moving forward and taking those risks. It doesn't mean we need to have our, foot to the metal on the gas pedal 24/7. It's important that we rest and recharge and all that stuff. But in order to feel like we can build our tolerance for the uncertainties of life, we have to keep putting ourselves out there and leaning into the trust in ourselves that we can figure it out. And the truth is, you probably have had moments where you didn't know how things were going to go and maybe you felt scared and things were uncertain, but you were able to pull through and you were able to be here where you're watching this video now. Maybe you really relied on your perseverance, your community, your support system, optimism, faith, whatever it is that has helped you get through uncertain times. You're going to be able to do that again. It just feels kind of hard now. Instead of looking back when you can say, oh, this is exactly what happened, you can say, ooh, I really hope it happens this way, but I'm going to be able to navigate it no matter what the outcome is. So let's get into the tapping with all of those reminders in place and help us build some resilience. The true magic of tapping is that it actually rewires our nervous system so that we don't get as activated in the face of uncertainty and things that stress us out. So I hope you got a lot out of this intro. However, I really encourage you to stay to the end because that's where we're actually going to be like programming in this ability to handle more uncertainty in your life. So let's get into it. Starting on the side of the hand. Life feels so uncertain. And even though I'm having a hard time handling this uncertainty, I love and accept myself. Even though I feel like I'm going to die or implode because of all the uncertainty right now, I'm loving and accepting myself. Even though my body is doing its normal biological response to stress and fear, I'm loving, forgiving, and accepting myself. Even though it's really hard to handle all the uncertainties of life right now, the chaos, the high stakes of everything that are changing right now, everything that is changing right now, I don't know. I'm having a really hard time. And I'm gonna let go of any judgments that I'm placing on myself for having a hard time. Because I've never been in this specific moment with the world in the state that it is, with my body in the state that it is, and my life in the state that it is. So maybe I can have a little bit of grace as I navigate this particular moment of uncertainty. I know that I'm always trying my best, doing the best that I can with the tools that I have. And if I need some more tools right now, that's okay. Whether it's the tool of self-care, whether it's a tool of more information, whether it's the tool of getting a plan for this uncertainty, or practicing some new skills to help me manage this uncertainty, like tapping. I'm allowing myself to do so. Maybe I can observe myself as I handle this uncertainty, not making myself right or wrong, but simply gathering information and figuring out what it is that I need in order to handle this uncertainty. There's no right or wrong answer, just what feels best for me right now in this moment. I know that I really wish I were handling this better. I wish I was easy and breezy, handling stressors left and right like it is no big deal. I eat challenges and uncertainty for breakfast. That would be the energy I would like. But even if I don't feel like I'm there right now, I can still love and accept myself. I certainly want to work my way to feeling that resilient in the face of the unknown, in the face of uncertainty. And I know that I can feel better in my body about this. If I were to zoom out right now, like bird's eye view of myself, I would remind myself I'm just a human sitting where I'm sitting, whether it's in my car, or my couch, or my desk, or my bed. I'm living, I'm breathing. I probably had a meal today. I have a roof over my head. And I know that those things don't help me, don't influence the certainty or uncertainty of the situation. But I'm just saying that I am safe right now in this moment. I'm just experiencing typical human experiences of fearing the unknown. But I'm loving and accepting myself even though I'm afraid of the unknown. And allowing myself to build more and more resiliency every single breath that I take. All right, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Great job. Let's go to the top of the head. Even though this uncertainty is too much to handle, this uncertainty feels like it's too much to handle. All these unknowns, all of these what ifs. What if this happens? What if this happens and it leads to this? What if this happening means this about the world? Or it means this about me? Or it means XYZ about someone else in my life? I know that all this trying to predict the future is just my brain's way of trying to protect me. All the anxiety that I'm feeling, the physical manifestations of stress in my body are just my body's way of saying, hey, I'm ready to take action if you need me to. And I appreciate that. It means that my system is working exactly as wired in my DNA and throughout evolution. But man, it's really hard to live today and do my daily life things feeling so stressed and so worried about the future. I would love to just feel really good and relaxed and trusting in my day, but it feels impossible. Because of this uncertainty. Because of this uncertainty in this area of my life. It's felt so impossible to handle. Maybe I've coped in ways I'm not the most proud of, but I'm loving and accepting myself anyway. And choosing to give myself a little bit of grace because this is really hard. And I'm simply learning what feels best when it comes to dealing with uncertainty and stress. I'm recognizing all the ways I'm reacting to this uncertainty. Whether it's trying to control things, like fixating on the future, fixating on past events, fixating on people outside of me, or circumstances outside of me that are not within my control. I'm not saying I don't need to be prepared or form some sort of plan of action that I would like to see happen, or remain uninformed. I'm just saying that I think I'm going a little overboard with it right now. And I'm loving and accepting myself, even though that's happening. But I'm also loving myself enough to say that it's not helping me right now. In fact, going overboard on all the what ifs and anxieties is really hurting me. It's preventing me from living in the moment and feeling as good as I can right now in the moment. So I'm ready to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And acknowledge that even though there is uncertainty right now, I am safe right now in this moment. Even though I feel like I can't guarantee that forever, I'm letting myself know that I am safe here right now in this moment. And that I've gotten through hard things in the past. I've never been able to predict what happens in the future. But I've still had some wonderful things happen to me in my life. Whether things have worked out for me in the past or not, the way I wanted them to, I'm still here living life. Even though I've had challenges in the past, I've lived multiple chapters of my life since then. And the challenges in my past have helped shape me into a person I'm proud of today. And I'm only going to continue to grow and grow into a person I'm more and more proud of, no matter what life throws at me. That's not to say that I can't worry or care about the things that are at stake right now. I think it's really beautiful that I do care. It's probably one of my superpowers that I do care about what is at stake right now. But I just want to learn how to show up for myself while this uncertainty is happening, so that I can continue to be proud of myself and feel trusting in the world and people as much as possible. So I'm going to allow myself to figure out what is within my control. What does help me feel better? What does help me feel like I can trust myself in handling the future and uncertainty? I'm releasing and clearing any blocks to accessing those resources for myself. I'm lovingly reminding myself that there are other ways to cope with uncertainty than the ways that don't make me feel good. And I'm allowing myself to choose the ways of taking care of myself that help me feel good. Maybe this uncertainty is really disruptive. And maybe I can take some distance from it. Whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally. I'm allowing myself to do the things that help me feel like myself and connected to a safe future. Maybe it means allowing myself to imagine things going well just as much as I imagine the worst case scenario. Maybe it means reminding myself that the worst case scenario doesn't mean it's the only thing that can happen in the future. Even though my fear and dread might tell me that's the only possibility for the future. I'm loving and accepting myself even though I'm having this typical human biologic response to uncertainty. But I'm reminding myself to focus on the things that I can be certain on and the things that I do have control over. Because the truth is, I can still feel good even though things are uncertain. I don't have to love that things are uncertain, but I deserve to do the things that make me feel good. Because the better I feel, the more strong and equipped I feel to be able to handle this uncertainty. The better I feel about myself, the better I feel like I can handle whatever life throws at me. And the practice and art of showing up for myself, even when things don't go my way, or I can't guarantee the outcome, is one that is entirely within my control, and a practice that never goes to waste. So when I start to catch myself worrying about the future and uncertainty, I'm saying, oh, I'm gonna catch myself and say, oh, there I go again. My stress response is doing its thing. But I would like to focus on what I can do to feel strong instead. I'm gonna prepare for maybe the worst case scenario and allow myself to entertain other possibilities. I can feel good. I can feel strong. And I can feel resilient. Even if things are unknown. I'm allowing myself to imagine amazing, beautiful possibilities. Just as much as my doomsday visions. And I'm allowing myself to feel good in the in-between of knowing what's gonna happen. Because I deserve to feel good. And I know that it is possible for me. So I'm loving, forgiving, and accepting myself. And reminding myself that I am strong and capable, even in the face of uncertainty. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Great job. I'm so proud of you. To be honest, my arms got a little tired there, so hopefully yours didn't get too tired. But anyway, I'm really, again, truly proud of you for doing this entire tapping sequence. I really hope that it helps you feel stronger and more empowered in facing whatever feels really uncertain in your life. And I'm sending you all the love and blessings, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.